Okay, hello everyone. We are live here for the next preview show, preparing for a big stretch of the season. EJ, we have a lot of events coming up in the next weeks and months. I think the next month and a half will be quite decisive in terms of how everything will fall into place. We
Mhm.
will have a quick look back at the Scandinavia Open. Um, which feels like a long time ago already. It feels like we had kind of a break in the season. But now, the coming weeks is going to be fast, one event after another. So we'll be previewing two of those: the Slovakia Open this upcoming weekend, and then the Sweden Open the weekend right after, and some other stuff that we have to cover as well. But first of all, EJ, how have you been? How are things going, man?
Hey, Ton. Hey, good to be back on again. Things are going well. You said it well. You jinxed me last time. You called out the Lufthansa strike, and then I couldn't make it to Denmark. So I blame Lufthansa a little bit, but I think most of the blame is heading right in your direction. Um,
Oh,
so,
that's
but
hard. That's
hopefully,
fun.
hopefully that doesn't happen again. I don't.
Yeah.
But but yeah, other than
I
that,
already put it in
to
the
your
script that that we had to talk about it because there's another strike coming up, right? This week.
I don't think we should talk about it. I think this is dangerous. This is dangerous territory. So we're just not going to say
Okay.
anything.
All right.
And yeah, hopefully we can work our way around that one. Because, geez, come on. But yeah, other than
Lufthansa
that,
guys, just do your job, please.
yeah, please, just do the thing you're getting paid for. I'm sorry, but come on. There's
Yeah.
people trying to play cornhole here, right?
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, family life, did a few local tournaments to tier four up in Amsterdam, just outside of Amsterdam and Castricum. And then did another tier four the other day in Germany over in Bitburg. Did a local tournament over in Luxembourg. So, still getting the reps in, but I'm excited to get back on this gauntlet of the ACL Open that's coming up ahead. So,
Yeah,
how
that's
about
kind
you?
of
How
the
you?
right term for it, eh? A gauntlet. It
Yeah,
is
it
gonna
sure
be
is. 5 weeks, man. Just boom, boom, boom. So
one or another. Yeah. No, I've been good on my side. A lot of family things, and also busy because as soon as the sun is out, people are thinking again about what they are going to do in their backyard, and that's
mhm.
also good news for us because that means that people need boards and bags. So as soon as the sun comes out, yeah, we start to get busy again at the workshop and trying to get orders fulfilled, boards made, and stuff like that. So we're definitely grinding and preparing for hopefully a big summer.
That's awesome. And I see you guys make a lot of posts in terms of some of the boards you're creating. There's some cool designs out there. So it's awesome to see your guys' creativity and some of the artwork you guys are putting on,
Well,
on
also
those boards.
it's not typically not even our creativity. It's typically the customer that gets all the tools that they need to make their own design. So they often just make their
Okay.
own design. Well, we just print it on the board. So they just get the
Okay.
template, and we get them like a Canva template or Illustrator template, and then they can just do whatever they want and make their own design.
Got it. So
Um,
so they have the dream and you turn it into reality.
yeah, we just print it on a corner board. That's what we do.
Nonetheless, man, they look good. So glad to hear you guys are staying
Yeah, there's some
busy.
fun stuff. There's fun stuff coming through. That's for sure. Yeah, yeah. It's always fun to walk around the workshop and see a bunch of cool designs, and that makes the work worth it.
Absolutely. So that's awesome. Good to hear.
Yeah. Uh, Quick look back. It's already I don't know, what is it? About a month ago that you guys were in
Ooh.
Scandinavia for the Scandinavia Open. I mean, yeah, the big breakout weekend for Bruno Bakker, I think, huh?
Yeah, man. I mean, that guy was lights out. I wish I was there to see it. But nonetheless, had the opportunity to watch quite a few games, and he was. There's some weekends where just certain players are feeling it, and you could tell that that was his weekend. So it was
Yeah,
awesome to see. Especially being a fellow Wicked Wood player, but also just a good guy in general. For him to have
yeah,
such a good weekend, and kudos to all the play out there. There's a lot of good players, so
yeah.
definitely. saw a lot of good games, but I would definitely say that was the Bruno weekend by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, crazy. Especially on Saturday, yeah, he was just unstoppable. It feels like
Absolutely.
he could have done 6 more events that day, and he probably won them all because he was just lights out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. You know,
great job again. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that's it's underrated too how hard it is to play an entire singles tourney, get to the end, get that feeling of like, man, I made it. Here's first, and then congratulations. Here's the next tournament for you to hop into, and he
Yeah,
wins that one too. That's exhausting. So kudos to
yeah,
him for having the endurance and the skill over that long weekend.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great job. So really, his breakout moment, I think, and now, yeah, his eyes will be set on that top five. I think at least for the ACL Europe rankings after that weekend. He is
Hmm.
not playing, I think, in the upcoming 2 events. But then he's going to get a lot of reps in May at events in May. So we'll see how he does there. Also, big shout out to Holger and Robert and their team back in Denmark. They always do an amazing job, and it was nice for them to
Hmm.
see yeah, a lot of growth for their event year over year. First season was a relatively small group. This year already a lot bigger. So that was
Hmm.
really cool for them to see and see their hard work pay off. So incredible job by those guys
Absolutely.
for getting that all done. Do
Absolutely.
do we need to talk about the push?
A lot. I think it's worthwhile. I think it's worthwhile because there's something. I think there's something good that comes out of even unfortunate situations. But you
Yeah.
want to take the lead on that? You want me to?
Mm. I mean, some context. We're talking about the incident at the end of the doubles event. So final was between Konstantin Baer and Rico Krul from Germany, and they were playing Bruno Bakker and Robert Wendler. Um, and let's put it this way: it was not really Robert's final. He made a big mistake in during the match where he started throwing the first back, but it was not his turn to throw. So that was a dead
Hmm.
back, and it clearly frustrated him a lot. And it even in the end cost them the match because Bruno, one of the rare misses from him all weekend, but he made a miss in the next round, which led to the win
Hmm.
for Rico and Constantine. Um, and Robert didn't take that too well. Let's put it that way. And there was some pushing and shoving between Robert and Rico, which is I think all to blame on that side on Robert, who was unable to keep his composure as he should have done as a professional. So that's kind of
Hmm.
the context, and of course we spoken to both the players, and I think they're all um, how do you say that? They already shook hands and things were all fine.
Hmm.
And I also spoke to Robert at length, and he completely understood. Like, okay, I did something wrong, and this should not have happened, and I should not let my emotions come out like this. But how did you see it?
No, I mean, yeah, good context and absolutely, it's easy to be on the other side of that, right? And you see the emotions and you're like, what is that guy doing? But like it, these games, it's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of emotion
Yeah.
going in, right? You may not see it when people are throwing often, but man, like it is. It's a there's a lot. There's a lot riding on this thing, right? You want to do well, and especially in doubles, you don't want to let your teammate down. You don't want to let yourself down. Throwing a bag out of turn is definitely one of those situations where I'm sure he just like looks inward and feels horrible, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of factors sure at play that led to that unfortunate decision. The thing I think that's great, I love Robert. Guys, he's a great guy. He's accepting full responsibility for it. I saw him the other week when I went up there for a tier four, and I jokingly came over and gave him a push, and we laughed about it, and so he accepts my humor, which is good. But he even said he's like I got to be better about that. Like that's on me. I gotta manage my emotions well, and And so, yeah, so he's right. He learns from it. There we are. And so appreciate him taking responsibility. And yeah, I have a feeling that we have moved on and it is what it is. But yeah,
No, I think that's the most important thing. Yeah? Like, how do you learn from this, and what is your intention on how to move forward from this? And I think that's crucial. And like you said, I think we both know Robert quite well, and this is not something he does every day. And he completely saw that, and I think that's good. He knows what he needs to work on, what he needs to improve, and he totally understands the situation what happened, and he was to blame for it. So that's
Mm-hmm.
just to have that perspective on it and be able to reflect on it like that. I think that really speaks to him.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that yeah.
And it's fun, it's when you look at it, I can think back and maybe it wasn't as egregious as pushing somebody, right? But I can think back where the majority of our players, I can think back on a time where I saw them get a little bit more emotional than usual.
Yeah.
You probably remember this time last year. There was one, I believe it was Bavaria, where maybe I had a few hecklers in the crowd, and
Yeah.
yeah, and at one point I think I made the shot, and I went over there and kind of like touched his face, right? I was playing back into it. It was nothing necessarily inappropriate, but look, honestly, like that was an immature action on my part. But that's helped me learn, and I still make mistakes. I still do.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
that you don't want people to get under your skin, because that leads to either you making a bad decision in the game, or even more unfortunate, a bad decision off of the game. So
Yeah, but that's true. But there's also a certain line you shouldn't cross. And at that particular event, there was one particular person that definitely had to be,
if he's listening to this, he
to
knows what
be,
he knows who he is and what he did. But nonetheless, it
yeah,
is still talk to the dude. He's a good guy, but when you have a
yeah,
few
yeah.
drinks in you and,
Just
and you're
just
upset
just
about
don't drink.
losing,
Just don't drink too much.
yeah. So, but
Yeah.
I knew that would give you a few laughs. I thought you'd remember that one.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. So yeah, that's settled. He had a short suspension, Robert,
Mhm.
but I already spoke to him. He will be right back after that, and he's still excited to really push for this season. So really happy for him and how he picked it up. Um,
Mhm.
that was the Scandinavia Open. We're moving on to Slovakia Open this weekend. Always a great event. Aldo and his team are always doing a fantastic job in Domanica in Slovakia, deep in Slovakia. It's
Uh-huh.
going to be an exciting event again. Tier 2 points. Yeah, I was looking at the lineup, EJ. It's going to prove to be another tough one to win here because there's so many good players to try to win such an event nowadays is crazy. Yeah, and all the Slovenians are there. So Roman is there,
Mm.
Goran, Domen, Jaka, they're all there.
Oh,
But
jeez.
Aurimas is on fire this season, and it seems like he's now traveling to almost every event because he's like, I could win this one maybe. So
Yeah, yeah.
he is traveling to every event. The Croatians are there. Loris, Alen Jakus will be there. Silke, Arno will be there. Will be
Hmm.
another tough one.
It sure will be. I had the pleasure of going to that one last year. Unfortunately, I'm not going to go this year, but it was a great setup. The Slovakians did a great job of playing hosts, and hotels are great. It was nice to be kind of in near the Slovakian mountains, nice little foresty area.
Yeah,
Um, it's a beautiful area, and I'm glad they're hosting again. So, but you're absolutely right. The lineup in these ACLs this year is just it's I'll use the word gauntlet again. It's just there's no
yeah.
easy passes. There's no easy, even the tier
No.
fours, my gosh. Even the tier fours, you look at those and
Yeah,
you're just like, man, you're gonna really deserve that 50 points if you win that. So
yeah, yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see.
No, there are
I'm
no easy
excited to
wins.
watch it.
And yeah, me too. And I was looking. I was also looking at the Sweden Open the week after, and it's the same thing. It's just and pick a winner. Good luck. It's so hard. It's a lot of really good players. In
Yep.
Slovakia, we have from the Wicked Wood team Stefano, who is also playing really well again this season. So he'll
Hmm.
be trying to get one of the top spots. Lenny will be there, and Eva will be there as well. So three really good
Very
players
nice.
from Team Wicked Wood in Slovakia. So we'll keep a close eye on how they will perform. I was thinking of
That's
anything other special we need to talk about for Slovakia other than go and watch this weekend and make sure you don't miss the action because I think there
I
will
hope
be a
this
lot of
year that
some funny
I hope
finals.
this year everyone feels healthy. I know last year
Oh
we had an
yeah,
unfortunate Sunday
some food
situation
poisoning,
where
eh?
yeah, and I know Arno, if you're listening, I hear you going back there again. I thought Arno was approaching death last year. There,
Oh,
I remember seeing him. He was shivering under a blanket, laying on a lawn chair, like in
oh
there.
my word.
Like he was done.
Oh.
I was we were so worried about that guy. So kudos to him for having the strength to go back there, and he might be a little bit more selective on the breakfast table.
Yeah, yeah. It's one thing to be a bit hungover maybe for this first couple hours of the day and
Hmm.
then having to battle through that. But if you really have food poisoning, I mean, there's no chance you can play. That's
It
so hard.
was,
Ask Yaka.
yeah, yeah. It was a lot. I remember a lot of runs back and forth to and from the bathroom. I know it's too much information, but uh, yeah, yeah. So it was an interesting day, but nonetheless, still a great weekend. Appreciate them hosting,
Yeah,
and excited to see who comes out on top. Any
yeah.
thoughts on who you think might be taking away some of these trophies?
I think it's so hard. I think it's so hard. It's just really who gets hot, I think, that day because I mean, Aurimas is definitely a player. If he gets hot, he's so hard to beat. Um,
Mm.
but there's more. I mean, even like Loris Maritic, if he has a great day, I could easily
Mm-hmm.
see him win. Or maybe Wes
Absolutely.
Seifert as another amazing day, and he comes out on top. So to really,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would if I have to pick a name, um, I will go for Stefano. I think Stefano will
Man,
be really good this weekend. I trust he will do a good job.
it's man, this is why we got to compare notes before because you stole my guess. I was also thinking Team Stefano. I mean, he's just
No
been
pressure,
pretty
no
lights
pressure,
out.
Stefano.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this, man, we're definitely rooting for you. But yeah, you mentioned a lot of. There's so many good players here. I could go on and on naming them. Um, I would actually say though the one thing I see kind of coming out of this eventually is I'm gonna go ahead and make the guess that Lenny will have his highest singles ranking on Saturday. He
Okay, yeah,
continues to improve every time I watch him, and I
yeah,
think this might be a weekend where he starts to put it all together, not just in doubles, not just in a doubles format, but also singles and taking care of action. So I
yeah,
look forward to watching that.
yeah, yeah. And then there's also, I mean, a lot of players we haven't even mentioned yet, but also the local Slovakian players. They get better every week, so I would
Mm-hmm.
also not be surprised to see a few of them ending up really well. There's also some players we haven't seen that much yet this season, but can always finish really strong. I'm thinking about Maria, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be surprised if she gets a top three position. So it could really go a lot of ways. I mean, Roman also wants to get another title or
Yeah,
maybe get get
it's
get
such an
back in front.
interesting.
So he will be really yeah fired up. I think.
I remember that feeling, and it's like, when you don't go to a few tournaments, it's like your name doesn't get mentioned as much. But we have not forgot about you, Roman. You're an amazing player.
No.
It
Absolutely.
No one will be surprised if you take any trophy there because that an add 'em to your staggering collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely could see that happening for sure. Yeah. Another one we should just throw out there. She is number one in our rankings right now. Is Yuta? Is she coming or
Yeah.
no? Okay,
Oh,
I
that's a
thought I
good
saw her
question.
name on there. Maybe not. I don't know.
I think maybe not, but let me
Okay, maybe not.
do a quick
Maybe
check.
the future one. Okay, but I mean, shout out to her. To being
Um,
number one. We got a long way to go, but still, when you're number one, and it feels good. So kudos to her.
yeah. She's playing amazing this year. No, she's not playing, or at least she has not registered yet. So I don't think.
Okay.
I think
Maybe she'll listen to us
the
today, and that'll get her up to go. She books flights today.
yeah. I think the Latvian players are going to Sweden the week after. Most of them.
Okay.
So maybe I don't think she's going there either. But some of the others Latvians are. I mean, she has some points in her pocket already, so she
She
might
sure
be
does.
back training for the one of the next ones to get points
Yep.
there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but so a strong field. Before we go to the Sweden Open, yesterday we announced with ACL Europe the one of the new cool events that we will have at the Europe Open. So we have the first ever club championship tournament, club championship cup at the Europe Open,
Nice.
which I think will be very exciting. Or I don't know about anyone else, but I'm at least excited for it because we can finally decide who the best cornhole club in the world is, and we will have that decision made at the Europe Open. So
That's
we have a
awesome.
big day. Basically we use the whole Thursday at the Europe Open for this event, where you can play as a club with 4 players. So it's a teams event, but you all have to be from the same club. As a club, you can send multiple teams. So as far as I'm concerned, you can send 25 teams, but they all need to be different players. So each team need to have 4 different players, and it will be a kind of a crazy event. I told Todd what we're going to do, and he told me I'm crazy and we shouldn't do it. But I told him we are going to do it. So we have we have kind of a 3-stage event, and the first stage will be a doubles rounders event. So the team of 4 needs to make 2 pairs of doubles teams, and those double teams will play a rounders event. And then based on the results of those 2 teams, we will make a ranking of the teams. So it will be depending.
Very cool.
Yeah, the results of those 2 teams will be added up, and then based on that, the team will get a ranking, and that ranking will determine where you will be positioned in the group stage, because the second stage is a group stage. And so let's say we have 60 teams. Team 1 to 10 will be first seed in the group. Team 11 to 20 will be second seed, etc., etc. And those teams will all be randomly drawn into a group stage. And then, so each group will have a team that was positioned somewhere 1 to 10, and a team that was positioned somewhere 11 to 20, and a team that was positioned somewhere 21 to 30, etc., etc. So that will be the group stage. Are you still following, or did I lose you already with the format?
No. I'm following. Is it's clear as crystal. I gotcha. I'm actually I'm already starting to think, like, as this is going down, I'm almost kind of hitting this like daydreaming sense where I'm like, okay, I'm thinking which clubs are going up against who. How does that work in terms of, you're pairing up for bags, so maybe now doubles might be a little off in terms of what bag selection. So you got a few things to think about.
Yeah, exactly. That's but it's clear in my head. So but I'm not entirely sure if it's clear for everyone. But I try to make it clear. But that's the second stage. So the second stage will be group stage. Most likely groups of 6, and you play each team once. So 5 matchups, and depending of where you end up in the group stage will determine where you end up in the final single elimination bracket. So there will be one big final single elimination bracket, and if you win your group, you have better positioning in the bracket.
Okay.
That's the format. And I think it will be really fun because I know players are super proud of their club and they want to represent their club. And the club structure is really the cornerstone of sports in Europe. So it's really an
Mm-hmm.
important part of any sport in Europe. So that's why I really wanted to make sure that this would be included in the next Europe Open, because it's such a vital part of the sport. So this is finally the chance to represent your club and potentially become the best club in the world.
I love it. This is I remember us having talks last year of doing something that was comparable to like the ACL teams event. And so I think
Yeah,
this is Europe's version of that. And I agree with you. Clubs definitely are a central component of Europe cornhole. In Germany alone, we also have club against club through our Bundesliga.
yeah,
Beanbag Buddies 2025 champs. Here we are. And it was super exciting. It's so much added fun when you're playing for something more than just
yeah,
yourself. And so
yeah,
I look forward to a lot of energy there and a lot of good competition. So thanks for setting that up.
yeah.
Todd, appreciate your advice, but I think you're wrong on this one. This is going to go well. So
I think he's fine with the idea. He is not fine with the 3 different stages that I've set up, and we need some AI tooling and stuff to make
well, this
sure everything
yeah. Well,
is
it's like a
done right.
video game. You face the one boss to then face the boss and then face the mega boss.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I see what you're
yeah,
doing.
yeah, 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 yeah. We'll get there, but it should be fun. And yeah, so make sure to sign up. Come play as your club, represent your club, and I think there will be a lot of previewing that we still need to do before that event, because it will be exciting to see which clubs will be there, and also,
Hmm.
like, how clubs are going to select their teams, because I think there will be clubs that send more teams. So do you send your 4 best players in team 1 and then the 4 best next players in team 2, or are you going to structure that differently? Do you match up players that are playing well together? That's all strategy that clubs need to think about.
We'll see. We'll see. Exciting.
Cool. So that's coming up, and the registration is going to open hopefully tomorrow for the Europe Open. So make sure to sign up early, and there will be some great hotel deals again. So make sure to take advantage of that, because there's always limited space for that. Then finally we have Sweden Open next weekend. So again, this weekend is Slovakia, and then the week after is Sweden Open. It's again, this is a crazy field again. I'm just pouring out some names. You will be there together with Mark
Hmm.
Hamler. Mathieu Rivaux enters the scene for the first
Okay.
time this season. So he will
Okay.
be there, which is
Who's he
fantastic.
playing
He's
with?
playing, I think, with Frédéric Boré.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I see
nice.
that he
All right.
registered. So I think they're playing doubles together. Again, Roman will be there. Aurimas, I think Aurimas told me in the beginning of the season he was not planning to travel that much, but I think he's now going. He knows he has a chance to maybe win this season, so now he's going to every event. So he will be
Uh-huh.
there. Jani Turunen from Finland will be there, who was
Oh,
amazing earlier
yeah.
this season.
Man.
Gavin Clark will be there.
Okay.
Arno and Silke are doing the double header. They're going to Slovakia and Sweden. So that's just to name a few. And then I haven't even mentioned all the local players that are always strong at the Sweden Open. So
Hmm.
Linda will be back, I believe. Thomas Heller will be there. Andreas Rangedal. Yeah, a
Hmm.
lot of really strong local Swedish players. So I mean, the Slovakia Open field is strong, but the Sweden Open field is not much worse, to be honest.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look at some of these tournaments because sometimes you see the quantity and maybe it distracts you from the quality. And so, while you have some opens that, are 160 people, signups, closed within
Yeah,
hours kind of thing, still a lot of talent. Maybe a place like Sweden, I'm not sure how many people are signed up, but there's a lot of high quality. And so what you're going to find
yeah,
is you're
it's
going to
top heavy.
find you're very top heavy bracket, right? Where you're,
Yeah,
you're the number 3 seed in the bracket, and so you're expecting maybe to get a little bit more grace in the bracket difficulty for the first round or two, and then you find you're playing against someone that you usually don't play against until the semifinals, and you're like scratching your head, right? So
yeah,
it'll be
yeah.
interesting to see. I'm excited. I'm excited to go back and to visit Sweden. We had a great time last time. um, I know we also, will you be coming back as well?
No, not this time. Which is
No,
unfortunate because it's the opportunity to see the tournament again. So
exactly. They have
that's
it back
also another
open.
big advantage of this event. Yeah, yeah, they will be hosting Friday evening for just some fun play and show their new plays. So as of 8 o'clock, they'll be open for all players, and it's their new place. So that's really cool to get to see that. And yeah, Uppsala holds a special place in my heart. I've been there so far every year. Unfortunately, I cannot go this year, but every year before it was always amazing. It was always very late and then again very early in the morning. So not a lot of sleep, but a lot of fun. It's a great city, and it's always a great place to enjoy yourself. So yeah, I really love it. And if anyone's still considering going last minute, do it. You're not going to be disappointed for sure.
Yeah, I agree. We had a good time. The nightlife there was pretty good. We had a fun time on and off the court. So we'll miss you there, Ton.
Yeah,
And get back on the circuit, man. Join us. One for proof of life, so I know it's still you on the other side of that
yeah,
video.
right.
But but man,
Yeah,
it'll be a good time though. I'm excited for it. So,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we're not going to jinx
yeah.
ourselves with any strike this time.
No, exactly. Yeah, and I'll be back on the tour soon enough because there's a lot of events coming up as well in May. We're of course hosting the Dutch Open, where I'll be hosting. I'll be hosting the French Open this year together with Florent in June. So we'll be there as well. So there's still a lot of work to be done in the coming months. It will be the busy season has really started now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's been a good year so far. It is remarkable how much high talent I'm seeing at each bracket, right? At each tournament. There's a lot of
Yeah,
players that you saw them play last year and they were good and now they're great.
yeah,
And so
yeah,
it's just that top lineup, I would say 2 years ago was much thinner, right? There was a
yeah,
time where I think anyone was like, "Oh, like who's gonna win?" And they would be like, "Well, they're Roman or EJ, right?"
yeah.
That is
Exactly,
no longer
exactly.
that's no
That,
longer the case.
and it's not because you guys became worse players. It's just there are other players now that also can have extremely good days.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we've mentioned a solid dozen or so players, which would be no shock to see them win this weekend in
Exactly.
Slovakia.
Yeah, yeah,
We've mentioned at least a dozen people or so that we would be no surprise to see them finish the season number one. So,
yeah,
and we're just talking about the players who are going to those tournaments. There's a lot of folks that we didn't mention that are right in that running, right? Who are playing lights
yeah,
out.
yeah,
Whether, some of those other Latvians, Obe, things like Guni, things like that. There's a lot of good players that are still on the circuit and
yeah,
they haven't gotten worse. They've gotten better too.
yeah. No, for sure. So it's yeah, there's just no way to get an easy title anymore. That's for sure. And like as you mentioned, I think that's the biggest win for this season. That I like you a lot, but it's great to have not just two favorites, but have 10 or maybe 15 people that can really win it. I think that's much better for a real competition. So
I
that's
agree.
exciting. So it puts more pressure on the whole thing, right? I mean, in Sweden, you have to have a really good rounders, because if you're not well positioned in the bracket, you're gonna have you
Mm-hmm.
could have a big problem if you lose if you just lose in a bad match in rounders. So you have to be focused all
Yeah.
day.
I mean, a good example of that, you mentioned Aramas, and he was on fire in Latvia. And yeah, I didn't I was a little down in rounders, and I ended up facing him, I think, second round in the bracket. And
Yeah,
we both had good games, but he won, and then I'm now trying to, get through the mess of a loser's bracket and work my
yeah,
way up. And so it is. You're absolutely right. Positioning is important. You've got to take those rounders
yeah,
seriously, and ultimately stay on your A game and be consistent. So
yeah, exactly. So that's coming up, the Sweden Open. So first this weekend, Slovakia Open starting tomorrow. Then next weekend we have the Sweden Open. Then only 2 weeks after that, or
no, just
maybe even a week
one
after
week
that.
Italy.
It's even a week after that. It's
Yeah,
already yeah. So we have 3 weeks, and that's not true. We have
5 weeks.
events 5 weeks in a row.
5 weeks. Yep, five
Oh
weeks,
my god.
5 weekends in a row of
Uh,
tier two, tier three
yeah,
ACL Europe cornhole.
yeah,
Insane.
crazy, yeah, yeah. So we have the Italy Open right after Sweden. Then we have the German Open, and we have the Dutch Open.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is as you mentioned, the gauntlet, the crucial part of the season. And then in June there's more, because we have the Hungary Open, which
Mm-hmm.
will be really fun in Budapest. But also still in June we have the Belgium Open and the French Open.
Mm-hmm.
In July we of course have the Bavaria Open. We still have the Croatia Open to come. What else am I missing? Austria still.
Yeah,
And
and
then in oh yeah, we have the
UK. I
UK Open
think
still in
UK's at the
August.
end.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
So
And I mean, and
a
we're not
lot
even
of
mentioning
play.
all the tier fours out there. There's tons of tier fours across the other countries. Luxembourg will have their first
Yeah,
ACL tourney, I think in
yeah,
June. So, or July. I'd have to look
yeah,
back on that. But
yeah. That'll
just,
be fun.
yeah.
That'll be fun. It's also interesting to
Mhm.
see, but we can talk about it in one of the next recordings. But interesting to see with the new point structure, like what that will do to the last events of the season. Because I can
Mhm.
imagine now that the season could be decided maybe in UK. So all of a sudden there could be some really crucial matches being played there. That could be the deciding factor who will be winning the Europe Open, or the
Yeah,
Europe ranking.
you're exactly right. I mean, definitely a good chat for later, but historically the last few years the ACL Europe Open is where we saw the biggest movement at the end, right? On those
Yeah,
tier
yeah,
1 points.
yeah,
Now that we have a different structure in place, I agree. Maybe we'll see. I think people will start to solidify. Honestly, after these 5 weeks, I think people will start to
yeah.
see people solidify into a pretty comfortable area in terms of where they're going to finish.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and then they will probably look at, okay, do I still need tier 2 points, or do I still need tier 3 points? And based on that,
mhm.
they may decide which other events to participate in. But especially, yeah,
Absolutely.
those tier 3 points can also be crucial. So I can imagine there's still a couple of players that think like, okay, I'm going to go to the UK and I'm going to try to get a win there, because
Yep.
that just might get me into top three or even top spot.
Now, correct
Yeah,
me if I'm wrong. I believe the ACL Europe Open, while it's no longer in the same setup, those matchups or rounders and stuff, are those still tier 4 points?
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
still local
So,
points. So there's still a lot of
okay.
local points to be gained. Also, like the swap events and the blind draw events will still be for local points.
Okay.
So those will count. An event like the club championship is not for points, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but all the others are still counting for local points. But yeah, so it could be that there's still a couple of top players that could with
Turn
a
that
win
48 into a
still.
50, and
Yeah,
get your extra 2 points.
yeah,
So, still
yeah.
maybe some
So you
last
never
minute
know.
movement.
It's yeah, and maybe not even the top spot, maybe that's kind of set, but there's of course a couple players that will be right on the edge of becoming pro or not. So there it could get really exciting to see, you know, are there some players that can still at the Europe Open make the difference and jump into a pro spot for next year.
Yep, absolutely. Looking forward to it. These next 5 weeks are going to be crazy. So we'll have some more recaps for you, I'm sure. A lot of things to talk about in a pretty quick 5-week span. So
yeah, absolutely. Cool. All right. Well, it was good talking to you. It was fun.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we haven't decided when we will be back, but I'm sure we will be back somewhere right in the middle of this gauntlet coming up, and then we'll take it from there.
Sounds good, Tan. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Right. Same to you, man. All right.
Hey, take care.
That's it.